Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin. I am the owner of the channel Glare Edits. Now, on my channel, I have posted some videos and a lot of people have been asking me what they're about. And some of my friends actually don't know the exact details of what actually happened, so today I'm going to be explaining that. So 1 year ago today, I woke up with a really bad cramp in my right calf. And my calf just kept tightening and just kept getting more cramp. I can't actually explain it. It was just super bad. Like, the worst cramp ever. Like, I thought I was going to die. I was, like, sweating. I was hyperventilating. I was running around in my bed. And I just couldn't. Like, my right calf was just what I felt was getting smaller and smaller. My eyes were going blurry. My eyes were watering. I was crying. I couldn't do anything to stop it. I thought, after I calmed down a bit, as the pain was increasing, I thought, what if I stand up to get rid of the cramp? So I stood up, but then I stumbled over, which woke up my sister. I stumbled into a mirror. And I didn't realise I stumbled into a mirror, but my sister said I did. I then walked into my mum's room, and by then I had really bad tinnitus that ear thing in my ears. And it was so loud, I couldn't hear anything. All I could hear was the ringing in my ears. And basically what happened was I stood there in my mum's room, and I was standing there with my leg against the wall, and I was heavily breathing. I could not breathe. I was struggling so much to breathe. But my mum wakes up, and by the way, at this point it's 7 a.m. in the morning, and she says to me, "Kitten, what's wrong?" And she can hear me hyperventilating. She can see that I'm out of it. She can see that I'm about to pass out. And she said, "Caitlin, what's wrong?" And then I went, and I was trying to say, "Oh, it's just my leg." But I couldn't speak properly, right? So then, my mum's like, "Caitlin, what is wrong with you?" And she's getting quite concerned. So she stands up and she's starting to walk towards me. And I wasn't thinking straight. I couldn't think straight. My brain was like that. It was like it was all fog. And basically what happened was my mum was walking towards me, and I was trying to walk towards her bed to sit down. And then as I walked, I took 2 steps and I crashed into my mum's cabinet in her room, and I bruised my arm really bad. And then she was just started leaping. She was just like running towards me. And then I walked another step because I was just like that. Like, I was like, I was so out of it. And then I took 2 more steps, and then I completely, like a sack of potatoes, just collapsed to my right side, and I hit my head really hard. And if you could try and imagine, like, my mum's room, she has like a little storage holder at the end of her bed, and then she has a big brown chair, and that makes her walkway through to the other side of her bed very wonky, but somehow I landed completely straight, so that was a praising God moment. And I went unconscious, and I faded out, I blacked out, and it was really bad. And then my mum picked me up, and I was like super heavy because I couldn't control myself, and she woke me up. Well, I woke up, and then she said, "Caitlin, what's wrong?" And then she was like, "Caitlin, what's wrong? Caitlin, you don't have to speak, just get into the bed," type of thing. And she had me to my bed, or to my mum's bed. And then in that moment, I went, "Ugh," and I just went even harder onto my left side, and I just collapsed onto my right side, and I hit my head so hard against the floor. I went super unconscious. I had like a migraine. It was so bad, and I actually started having a minor seizure. And my mum was like, yelling, she was like stressing out. She was like, "Can just stay still, it's fine, it's alright, it's gonna be okay." And she's like freaking out, and I'm there having a minor seizure on the floor, like not a really bad one, but still like a pretty decent seizure, which I've never had seizures before. And basically what happened is I was there, and I was like, it felt like a movie. It honestly felt like a movie. I'm not even kidding you, because it was like I was there on the ground, and I was like, I could feel myself moving, and it was like fading black in and out. It was blurry. I could hear my mum. I could hear ringing in my ears. My mum, I could just hear her going in and out with her voice. And like, it was just like a movie, and I couldn't get over how scary it was. And then I completely blacked out. And then, she couldn't lift me up because I was too heavy, because like all my weight had just gone, and it had just gone straight down, and I'm just so heavy now, which is normal for someone that has just collapsed. But basically, she managed to get me awake, and I woke up, and I basically just called to her bed. She was like, "Kitten, stop," and I didn't know what she said, so I just called to her bed, and I got on. They were all doing tests like, do you remember our names? Do you know who you are? Do you know where you live? Do you know who we are? Do you know the dogs' names? Do you know what dogs we have? Do you know their breeds? So like I answered all of those really good, all of those tests, and then we were all like, what are we gonna do? Because you know this isn't normal. Like, do we ring the ambulance type of thing? So we ended up ringing the ambulance, and after we rang the ambulance, because I was breathing and I knew who I was, and I was alert and I was alive and I wasn't in desperate pain, they weren't rushing to me, but they got to me about 4.5 hours later, and my arms really hurt from the impact. My head was so painful, and I couldn't walk because I was so shaken up, and my legs were absolutely weak. Like, if you think about running 5 miles and you think the legs are weak or something, because 5 miles is a decent amount. So, like, if you're just basically thinking about running a really long distance, to your point, your legs like jello. My legs, I just couldn't feel them. They literally could not walk. But yeah, I could not walk. And then the paramedics eventually came, and they were like doing all the tests and stuff. And the one paramedic came, which is one paramedic, and she was super nice. And she said, because all this has happened, and she took my heartbeat, and she listened to it through the heartbeat thing, and she listened to it, and she said, okay, so I do hear a whoosh under your heartbeat, which obviously isn't meant to be there. It's just meant to be da-da, 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 but I hear it da-da, whoosh, da-da, whoosh, da-da, whoosh, da-da, whoosh, da-da, whoosh, da-da, whoosh. So I'm gonna bring paramedics to come and get you to the hospital, because I don't have the equipment, so I need to bring more paramedics. So she rang more paramedics, and then 2 guys came who were really nice. But yeah, they were really nice. And then they took me into the hospital, and I was brought back around the back of my hospital that I go to, and brought into the A&E. And I was in that A&E corridor for a good hour, 40 minutes, because there was no rooms available, so they're waiting for a room to be available for me. And basically, while we were there, something really traumatizing happened, which I'm not going to be disclosing for like safety reasons, and also to keep this other person that was involved, just keep their privacy to them. But it was super traumatizing, and I'm still traumatized by it. And I get triggered anytime I hear someone make a certain noise replicating what happened. And even if they don't mean to replicate it, it still just traumatizes me, and I start freaking out. So yeah, there's a traumatizing experience, and that shook me up even more. But the paramedic was super nice, and he made sure I was safe. And my mum made sure I was safe, and God made sure I was safe. So that's the main thing. Eventually I got a room, and I was in there for about 5 hours. In the room for 5 hours, doing multiple tests, and everything came back normal. And they didn't actually find out what was wrong with me. My dad does have a heart problem, and they don't know if it's genetic or not, so they checked my heart in the last May this year, May 2024. I had a heart monitor on for 2 weeks, and that came back normal, so we still don't know what actually caused all of this. But yeah, back to a year ago today, I was in hospital, and they said, well, everything is fine. If you don't feel well enough to go home, then we'll keep you in overnight. If you feel well enough to go home, then great. But yeah, if you are able to go home, then that would most likely be better for you and for us. So I was like, okay. At first I couldn't get out of the bed because I was so tired and I was so shaken up, and it was like 10 o'clock at this point. But yeah, so I was able to get up. My mum helped me, and we left, and we drove home. When I came home, I had some little buttered toast soldiers and some other bits and bobs, some other really plain food. But yeah, it was just super traumatizing day and it was super hard. And that was like just a brief example. I could have gone more in detail, but that's just a brief example just to get this onto the internet on my 1 year anniversary of collapsing. So yeah, if you see any shorts about something and then I say it's about December 2nd, this is what it's about. Okay, so yeah, that's what happened to me today 1 year ago. And shout out to these lovely people, this one being my sister, because these 3 people helped me get through that day. They literally made it so much better. But yeah, Jesus had me and they were talking to me throughout the day and I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, if you have any questions, comment them down below. I'll try to keep comments on and hopefully it will work. But yeah, if you have any questions, comment them down below and I'll be lovely to answer them. Jesus loves you. God bless. Be blessed.